In the grim dark future of the 41st millennium, there is only war and sewage. Lots and lots of sewage. Meet the Lugnum sewer rats, the only Imperial Guard regiment that smells worse than a Nurgling's armpit and fights dirtier than a Goliath ganger. These troopers crawl through pipes, purge cultists in the dark, and probably haven't seen sunlight since the 36th millennium. But don't let the stench fool you. They're some of the toughest, nastiest, most trench-hardened fighters of the Imperium. Today, we're diving headfirst into the sludge to explore the lore, tactics, and tragic hygiene of the Lugnum sewer rats. Grab your rebreather, you're gonna need it. And if you guys enjoy these types of videos, don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, share with your friends, and if you want to support us on Patreon, you're not only supporting the lore videos, you're also supporting the greater wogs and other shenanigans we got going on.
Within the ranks of the Astra Militarum, there exists a specialized regiment of tunnel fighters and close-quarter experts known as the Lugnum sewer rats. These rugged warriors hail from the frontier mining world of Lugnum in the Golgena Reach subsector of the Calixis sector. Because of the larger and more resource-rich mining planets of the area, such as Sephiris Secundus, Lugnum had always been overshadowed, and the rich ore mines of the planet were not as flashy of a resource, and as such, largely seen as underwhelming. Similar to the planet's main export, the population of the planet had always been viewed as unremarkable by the rest of the Imperium of Man. Although the trillions of laborers committed themselves to the backbreaking mining process that provided for the entire sector, the people were largely seen as insignificant. That is until the Adeptus Administratum began to recruit from this mining planet. When High Marshals of the Astra Militarum visited the planet, they saw people that could produce strong, battle-worthy soldiers that were just as tough and dependable as the Cadian shock troops or even the Catachan jungle fighters. They were impressed with the population's culture, which placed high value on a man's ability to handle himself in a brawl. In contrast to the bleak, monochrome landscape of their homeworld, the people of Lugnum preferred bright, colorful patterns of their garb, and were all around brighter in attitude and outlook than what was expected. The recruits also remarked that the people of Lugnum have always been faithful, honorable, and hard-working throughout Imperial history. Lugnum's men and women take to heart the Imperial ideology that work earns salvation. The simple knowledge that they served the Emperor of Mankind was more than enough to content most of Lugnum's inhabitants as they toiled away in the darknesses of the mine. The Imperial Guard built on this remarkable stoicism by allowing their miners to serve the Emperor in a decisively more heroic fashion. Thus, the Lugnum sewer rats were born. The sewer rats are drawn from all levels of the world's society, from the highest noble to the lowliest laborer. Each man brings with him his clan sword, a priceless family heirloom. It is a common saying in Lugnum that even those who have nothing can still offer their blades. What's remarkable about this tradition is the craftsmanship of the Lugnum familial blades. Even the poorest family of the deep miners can boast a blade of the finest workmanship and the sharpest edge. This has led to rumors that the nobles of Lugnum hoard the finest ores for their own personal use, or even hide entire mines of rare materials from Imperial surveyors, although investigation and testing has so far lent no credence to such stories. It's tradition that when a soldier falls on the battlefield, his squad mates see it as a matter of grave honor to recover their blade, in fact placing a much higher priority on recovering the sword than the actual body. This cultural value explains the regiment's preference for close-quarter combat. Since their introduction into the Imperial Guard, many generals have utilized the sewer rats on countless different battlefields and across many different sectors, earning them great renown within the Astra Militarum. It has been centuries since the soldiers from Lugnum have been referred to as sewer rats. The source of their moniker is shrouded in folklore and myth, and many different stories exist that attempt to explain the title, but the truth has long been forgotten. Regardless, the people of Lugnum have adopted the disparaging name as a source of pride, a characteristic of their dour humor for which they are known. Lugnum regiments are often assigned operations to which their expertise is suited. These include such theaters of war as the depths of a hive city, the catacombs of a shrine world, and on occasion, the corridors of a voidcraft or a space hulk. Logically, the Lugnum sewer rats are often called upon to fight on mining worlds. Casualties during such missions are often jokingly chalked up to a case of homesickness by the Lugnum guardsmen. Most Lugnum sewer rats have experience serving on deep mining operations back home, during which they might operate at lung-crushing depths for weeks or months without returning to the surface at all. Men and women serving under such conditions must learn a certain degree of self-sufficiency, as mine collapses, rock pirates, and other hazards can easily prevent the delivery of such needed supplies. Lugnum miners tied to the Imperial Guard often ply their skills on the battlefield, making the best of available resources and finding creative uses for common equipment. Although the sewer rats have demonstrated the population's loyalty to the Emperor of Mankind, the planet itself is haunted by the atrocities committed by Lady Orlea Grey, a former planetary noble. Rumors whispered upon the planet questioned if she was even human. Despite attempts by the authorities to cover up the truth, there are few on Lugnum who have never heard of the sadistic blasphemies committed by Grey and her accomplices in the once fruitful Ironback mines, though few know or even suspect the true scale of her crimes. The Ironback mines have long since been sealed by order of the Inquisition, so that the lingering taint of chaos does not pollute Lugnum's material output or its population. Rumors persist, however, of dark, twisted things glimpsed in the deepest shafts of Lugnum's other mines, ghoulish figures that may have once been human. Nevertheless, the regiments of the Lugnum sewer rats continue to act as exemplars in their field of expertise, regardless of the troubles back home. One of their most notorious regiments is the Lugnum sewer rats 3rd Light Infantry Regiment, which was sent as the main weapon against the orcs and the human secessionist force known as the Severan Dominant on the mining world of Hervara. The regiment has received many accolades for their efficiency when engaging the secessionists, but they have been marked less effective against the greenskins. The sewer rats have suffered significant losses against the orcs, leaving them well motivated to seek vengeance against the brutal Xenos. When they arrived on the planet, the regiment was divided into several battle groups, with each being assigned a different campaign in the ongoing conflict. The Imperial High Command decided to integrate the sewer rats along with the local planetary defense forces, providing both an understanding of tunnel fighting and the local area. Despite suffering severe losses due to close-quarter fighting, the Lugnum 3rd remains the most efficient unit of tunnel fighters amongst the Imperial Guard forces present on the planet.
At the end of the day, the Luggnum sewer rats aren't in it for the glory, medals, or even clean socks. They fight in places no one else wants to go, against things no one else wants to see, and they do it with nothing but grit, lasguns, and whatever fungal infection they've picked up during that week. They might not smell like victory, but in the Imperium, sometimes survival is victory. Thank you guys so much for watching. Check out our other Imperial Guard lore videos, and we'll talk tomorrow. This was Gershwin with One Mind Syndicate, signing out.